All right, in our last chat, I kind of left you hanging with a really tough question. It's a question that honestly gets to the very core of pretty much every DeFi project out there. And it's the one question you absolutely have to ask yourself before you get too excited about those big green numbers. And here it is. Are these buy and burns going to be enough, or are we just exit liquidity? I'm telling you, this is the only question that truly matters. Because look, if the answer is that we're just someone else's exit liquidity, well then all those fancy charts, all those impressive screenshots you see, they're totally meaningless. So today, we're not going to dance around it. We're going to tackle that question head on. Okay, so let's break this down. What in the world does exit liquidity even mean? It sounds complicated, but it's actually super simple. Think of it like this. You're the person showing up to a party just as everyone else is leaving. Your fresh cash is basically the getaway car for the early birds, letting them cash out their profits. It all happens in a closed system where no real money is actually flowing in from the outside. And listen, if you've been around the block in DeFi, this whole playbook is going to sound, well, painfully familiar, right? Step 1, a project just mints a new token from nothing. Step 2, they pay you yield, but it's just more of that same token they printed. All that does is crank up the supply. Step 3, the OGs, the early holders, they see what's coming and they start dumping their massive bags on all the new hopeful people. And then step 4, poof, the whole thing collapses. It's a story we've seen a million times. So this brings us to the real test, the one question that separates a legit project from, well, from that playbook. And it's this. Is new, real value actually coming into the system from the outside? Is there real revenue being generated somewhere, or are we all just, passing the same hot potato around, waiting for the music to stop? And this is Plazm's answer to that exact problem. It's what they call the real yield engine. See, the idea is to take capital and put it to work in external platforms, things that generate revenue completely outside of the Plazm bubble. Think of stuff like DEXI bonds, which could be earning fees from real-world business, right? And then, the key part, that profit, that external cash is piped right back into the Plazm ecosystem. So you can see, this is a night and day difference. The old way? It's all smoke and mirrors. You're just printing tokens to pretend there's yield. It's basically a shell game happening inside a closed box. But the Plazm way is totally different. It's set up to work like an actual business. It goes out, earns real profit in real dollars, like USDC, from outside activity, and then brings that profit home to the people who own the system. And you know what? This changes everything. When the yield you're getting is fueled by actual genuine external revenue, your entire role in the system just flips. You're no longer just a speculator, just some degen hoping to dump your bag on the next guy for a higher price. No, you become a co-owner. You're getting a slice of the profits from a real cash-generating business. So what actually happens with all that external profit? This is where it gets really interesting. A chunk of that USDC goes right out onto the open market to buy up the protocol's own token, XPL. And then, and this is the most important part, those tokens that were just bought, they get burned. Poof, gone, permanently deleted from the supply. This isn't printing more money, it's literally the opposite. And what does that do? Well, it creates this awesome effect called a supply squeeze. Every time the real yield engine does a buy and burn, the total number of XPL tokens in existence shrinks. Now, if you're holding on to your tokens, your stack doesn't shrink, right? Which means your slice of the total pie automatically gets bigger. You own more of the network without doing a thing. So yeah, this is exactly why the whole system is built to benefit long-term holders. The supply is constantly being squeezed down. Your piece of the pie just keeps growing with every single burn. And it's not inflationary dilution. It's the complete opposite. It's like a deflationary pressure cooker, and it's designed from the ground up to reward the people who stay put. But wait, that's only part one of the strategy. Plazm stacks a second engine right on top of the buybacks, and it's called time-squared staking. Just look at that formula for a second. Your power to earn rewards isn't just about how much you stake, it's multiplied by the time you lock squared. That little squared at the end, that's the secret sauce. That's what makes it exponential. And what this does is create this absolutely wild dynamic. The system is designed to basically punish the short-term guys, the farm and dumpers. They get crumbs. Meanwhile, it just showers rewards on the people who commit for the long haul. The rewards for a long-term staker are so much bigger, it's almost not fair. It's literally designed to suck value away from the impatient people and give it to the patient ones. And this brings us full circle and completely flips our original question on its head. When you combine these two engines, the buybacks making your slice of the pie bigger, and the time-squared staking rewarding your loyalty, the whole game changes. On Plazm, it's the short-term flippers who are actually providing the exit liquidity for the long-term holders. The roles are completely reversed. Okay, so does this mean it's a sure thing, a guaranteed win? No, absolutely not. Let's be real here. This entire engine only works if 3 key conditions are met. First, the real yield has to actually stay real. The profits must come from outside the system. Second, the supply has to stay ticked. The burns need to be bigger than or at least equal to any new tokens being created. And third, you have to play the long game. You have to use the tools the system gives you. This really lays out 2 completely different paths forward. Path 1, if those conditions hold, you get this beautiful virtuous cycle. External money flows in, the token supply gets squeezed, and your personal stack represents a bigger and bigger piece of the network. But there's a path 2. If those conditions fail, if the real yield dies out, or emissions just go crazy, then yes, the tables can turn, and you could absolutely become the exit liquidity. The system is powerful for sure, but it isn't magic. So let's go back to our big question. Are the buy and burns enough? Well, with a setup like this, yeah, they can be. But you have to understand, the system isn't for everyone. It's specifically designed to reward a certain type of person. It forces you to change your mindset. This isn't a casino for making a quick buck. It's an engine built to reward ownership. And at the end of the day, deciding which side of that engine you want to be on, well, that choice is entirely up to you.